Hi everyone, it's Crafty Tina's. Today's video is going to be about the mini alphabet punch board. Now this is the alphabet punch board, the mini version. They have a bigger punch board to do larger letters. This is not to be confused with the word punch. This is the alphabet punch mini, which means it makes letters that are 1.5 by 2.5 tall. So basically this size is the size of the letter, 1.5 by 2.5. It makes a great size. I actually purchased this, it was on sale. I made it to go with my shadow box because the cutest little shadow boxes, these letters fit in really nice. This one is in an upcoming YouTube showing you how to make it, and so are the other two I'm going to show you. This one is a double shadow box, and inside it has the letters happy and then birthday to you. This is for a gift card, and I simply glued the letters onto a strip of cardstock and folded it. This is also an upcoming video. And then we have, I couldn't leave fall out of my Christmas decorations because I was kind of jumping the gun. And then I made a shadow box big enough to put the whole word fall, and then added die cut leaves, ribbons. I added 2 tags and a hanging ribbon, and this is also in an upcoming video. So let me show you my first impression on how to use this little guy. This is one time that We Are Memory Keepers gave you instructions that you're actually going to need. Usually when I open up one of these punch boards, I take out the instructions and I tell you to toss it or put it in a drawer, and then I show you how to use it without the instructions. For this one, for the beginning, you're going to need this book. It tells you step by step using an illustration how to make each letter or number. There's also numbers in this book. My problem is it's showing you how to do this, and it illustrates what you need to do with a tiny little red line. And when I say tiny, guys, this little red line, if you aren't looking for it, you're not going to find it. That kind of aggravated me because you've got all this light color, teal and white. You could have made that red darker or wider. For people that aren't young anymore and already wear glasses, that's an issue. And then I discovered multiple typos. It's the same typo throughout the book, but they're telling you to line it up at the 1/2 inch. It is not a 1/2 inch, and it even says right on the plastic, it is a 1/4 inch. So they're telling you to line it up to that line, but they're calling that line a 1/2 inch. These spaces are 1/2 inch, but that line is a 1/4 inch. So that was the second problem I found using the book. However, it does tell you how to start, and that you need to start with a 1.5 by 2.5. You can cut these out using your cutting board or this little punch board. I'm not a fan of cutting it out with the punch board, and I'll show you why. You will cut it out faster with your cutting because you can take a big sheet of paper, cardstock, cut it to 2.5, and then cut a whole bunch of 1.5s. Here you have to cut one at a time. It cuts over slightly both ways, so it's going to affect the next cut. I don't think you can see this, but it actually cuts into it. It goes past. So if you don't line it up properly the next time, you're going to have that little cut mark. If you have paper crafts, you're going to have one of these cutters. Save yourself some time and use this. But if you're going to craft with a friend, or you're going to go craft at a scrapbooking swap, something where you don't want to carry this and this, you can just use this. So I'm happy with the results. I like the letters. They're nice. They're pretty. They're a great size. You can cut paper or cardstock, because if you're gluing it or putting it onto something else, it doesn't have to be cardstock. So you have a lot of choices. Like most of their machines and their punch boards, you can make a variety of things. Now I'm going to show you how to cut out the pieces, and then we're going to make a letter. We're going to actually do joy today so that I can show you 3 different letters and how to use it. Before I show you that, I want to show you this. Now, if you've seen my other YouTubes for the cinch and the shadow box, you know that I have log sheets to show you or help you to basically use your crafting tool for more than its intended purposes. So here's an example. Here's the shadow box sheet. These are all the size shadow boxes we can do. Here's square and rectangle. The shadow box instructions tell you how to make 4. Doesn't tell you how to make anything else. So I've created this spreadsheet so that you can make more and more sizes. I can't make more sizes. The only size you're going to get is a 1.5 by 2.5. You can't change the size. So that is the limitation of this board. But I can change how I'm learning how to make the letter. After punching a few letters, you get the gist of it. You understand what it all means, and we're going to go through it. So I wanted a visual aid of just the one letter I'm doing. I want you to tell me what punch to use. So I basically made a color-coded chart. This may not be for everybody. They may need the step-by-step instructions, which I totally agree, but I'm visual. I don't want to read the steps. And the typo, I mean, everybody has typos and mistakes, but you can't tell me a large company such as this didn't have someone proofread. It's the first thing I found was that this 1/2 inch is actually a 1/4. And I don't want to go through so many steps when I can look and visually make it. But I'm going to make a letter using the book and a letter using my little sheet. If you want a copy of this sheet, go to my Facebook page. It's going to be a link in the description to go to the Facebook page, and you can print this out for free. It's just to give you another option because everybody learns new things at a different rate, and everybody learns new things a different way. Someone may need the step-by-step illustration, and somebody else may need just the color-coded image. So let's talk about the board. You have 2 punches. This is a D-shaped punch, and it's my blue on this chart. This has dual punches. This is a rounding punch. It rounds, and that is green on my chart. So everywhere you see the green is this punch. The back side of this punch is not necessarily for the letters. It actually makes a cute little tail that you can put on the letters. So you can use this end for that tail. You also use this end for the Q. So far, that's the only one I have found. The Q and the B need this punch. So it's in the K. It's not a normal punch. It's random. It's very few, actually. So out of this whole page of 20, only 4 of them use this side. However, happy little accident, if you take a 1/2 inch piece of cardstock or paper and you put it between the 2 circles, I'm not sure if you can see the circles because they are the same color as the board. If you put them between there and you punch, you have this cute little tail. And this little tail will work great for a saying to go on a card or a gift card. However, it also, because this is 1/2 inch, the shadow box is also a 1/2 inch. So it makes a cute little label to go on your shadow boxes, and it's the perfect size. I don't know if they plan that because I never see a video from We Are Memory Keepers with their machines playing together, and they play together well. So I don't know if just the 1/2 inch is standard and they kind of keep everything with the 1/2 inch and the 1/4 inches, but it's a nice little added bonus that I can make something other than the letters using their board. If you don't have a corner rounder, this punch does the 1/4 round. And it does a very nice one. So if you need a corner punch and you don't have it, this could actually benefit you in multiple ways. Whenever I buy one of these punch boards, I don't want to limit myself. I want to be able to get my money's worth, and I want to have a lot of fun. So the more things I can do with this punch board, the happier I am. So it has a rounder and this cute little V. Now, this is the rounder, this is the V. The V is pink on my sheet. The rounder is green. This is the D shape. It literally cuts a D out of your paper, and that is blue. Once you know the direction that you need to cut this D, the rest of it goes really easy after you've done a few. So I don't think if you use this on a regular basis, you're going to have to keep going back to the instructions. So this visual might actually be great for someone who's used this board already. So the first thing we need to do is we need to cut our 1.5 by 2. We have to start with this before we do any punching. Now they have a cutter here. It has a circle and a blade. The circle goes in the track and the blade goes in the slit right above the track. I don't like that they put this holder on the actual moving part. It should have been here, embedded into the board, and not moved back and forth, because I've had this fall out a couple times already. That's a very tiny blade. If it hits the ground too many times, you're going to break the tip and it's not going to cut as well. I really wish they had changed the location. This is nice. It opens up. You cut. It's really easy to use. So in order to get the starting size using the board only, you're going to take a piece of cardstock, and I'm taking this piece as an example. This is a great way to use up scraps. Great way. You're going to place it in, and it goes firm against the left and firm against the bottom, just like anything else we do. You're going to take your blade. Now, to get the actual size that you need, you're going to put the blade in the top rail, and you're going to put the circle, in the top rail, and let the blade cut the top from this side all the way across until it stops. Then you're going to move it over. There's a little marking here that says 1.5. So you're going to move it over to that marking. I don't like that there's nothing to hold it. So once you put it on that line, you will need to press this down or hold it yourself. Then you're going to take the circle and put it in this last vertical channel. And you can start at the top or the bottom, and it cuts on the outside. So now I have a piece of cardstock that is 1.5 by 2.5. And that is how you start with the alphabet punch board. So let's start with the letter J. On my paper, we have a J. Let's look in the book at J. According to the book, there are 5 steps. My J is going to look like that. The first thing for every letter starts with the D punch. So you need to know where to put this paper to start. You're putting the paper all the way to the left. So there's more paper on the left than on the right. And we punch using their instructions. The D has a red line around it. You're going to take it out. Now already I can see my J. There's my little punch out. That's my blue. So the only thing I have left is to round these corners and cut this square out. But this has 4 more steps, so let's continue with the book. The book says that I'm going to put this paper in long ways with the D down here, because this blade is always going to start cutting inside the D. So I'm going to open up the little chamber, and I'm going to put my paper in just like theirs. There's a tiny red line, very tiny red line, going from the top of this D over. So we're going to make sure our paper's in there. We're going to take our blade again. This is the round part. The round part is going to go in this chamber, which is the middle one, so that the blade is at the top of the D, and it's going to cut all the way to the side, just like that. So now I'm turning it based on their instructions. I'm turning it. You can see the cut. The D is down here with the straight edge at the top. And there's a tiny, tiny red line that's going to tell me that I'm going from the straight part all the way over. And it's telling me I'm going back on track number 2 and the blade's on top. So we're going to put this back. We're going to take this out. The round part goes in track. And I slice. So now I have this shape. The next 2 things is simply rounding down here. So we are going to use this punch to round the J. I didn't need the instructions to tell me that that J needed to be rounded at the bottom. Sometimes the punches and the cutter doesn't match up and there's a little bitty knob right here. If this is off by even the slightest amount, it's going to do that. Take a nail file or a little snip of scissors and take that off. So now I have my J. The intended purpose of this little V shape is so that you can put in a straight edge and have the really pretty decorative tops. So you can see that a little better. So that is our J. Let me show you how I would have made a J using only my sheet. So the first thing I would want to do is put my J over here next to my D punch. Now, my D has the straight edge on the left, my paper, straight edge on the left. And it looks like, holding the paper up, my D needs to be on the right. I know that because we've already done it, but I want to do it from my paper. So in the future, I don't have to use the book. I can glance at this and know exactly what to do. So I'm going to punch. I'm going to take this out. The next thing is it wants me to cut out the red. I can find my little blade that I just took out. It's another reason I don't like, I really wish this would have had a great place to put it. Most of their punch boards have onboard tools, like most punch boards have the scoring tool and it actually fits inside of the board itself. So this little guy just keeps getting lost. Off track, sorry. We're going to put this piece of cardstock back in here. And if I want to cut this red out, the only horizontal line I have is right here. Now you can take a red marker and make you a line there if it helps. For me, the colored area helps because that's what I want to get rid of. So I can look at this and know that I need to make a line right here. And see, so far, to me, it looks right. So now I know, based on my picture, I want to cut this here so I can have the square removed. So in order to do that, because this cuts horizontal only, it only cuts vertical for your actual shape. Otherwise, it's always cutting horizontal. So I know to put it back in so that I can cut right across the top of my D. And now I have the same image that I had before. So I'm going to round my 2 corners because my paper tells me to and because logic dictates that my J be rounded at the bottom. So I'm going to put it back in. And now I have a J. And we'll go ahead and put the little thingies in. So they were basically the exact same way. It was just a different look. This one gave us a step-by-step with a little red line, where this one is a colored image showing what position the D needs to be in. And it gave me a red area that I wanted to remove from the box. Now I did these to scale. These are 2.5 by 1.5 on purpose. These little D's, these little D shapes are 1/2 inches. They are a 1/2 inch on here on purpose. It is so I can visually see how this works. Again, this is just my preference over the book. So let's talk about the O. The O has 2D shapes. And we'll go to the O in the book. I mean, they at least gave us instructions. A lot of their boards do not give instructions. So in this case, it looks like I am making 2Ds. Well, if you look at my illustration, the O has 2Ds. The flat edge is on the bottom on this one, and it's on top on this one. If I look at my O next to my D punch, then I need a D on this side, and I need a D on this side. But I have to watch where my straight edge is on that D. This first one, that straight edge is on the left. And it's on the right half of this letter. So I'm going to put my paper all the way to the left because this D is on the right. My straight edge, it matches the straight edge of the punch. And I'm going to punch. Now I need to make another D, but I need that D to be flipped because I need that straight edge to be on top, not on bottom. So if I'm going to need that image flipped, then I just simply flip my cardstock. I already have one down here, so it doesn't make any sense to put it there. Logically, I need my D with the straight edge here, just like this. Again, being logical, I need to remove the center. It doesn't require all these steps because I know I need to move the center. And all of these are 1/2 inch increments. This is a half, a half, and a half. A half, a half, and a half. So this goes horizontal cutting, so I need to put it in this way. And now I have 2 cutting areas on top and bottom. So I'm going to close. I'm going to put my little round knob into that bottom tray, and I'm going to cut just from D to D. I don't want to cut any more. I'm going to go up one and cut again from D to D. I don't want to cut into the rest of my image. Oops. So now I have my opening for my O. Now I know that my O is round on all 4 sides. So I don't need this book to tell me. This is already telling me that I need green on all 4 sides. And this to me, for my chart, is green. So I'm going to put it in here. And I'm just going to punch all 4 sides. Make sure you get that corner in there nice and secure. Both sides butt up against the edges. That'll give you a clean circle. So now I have my O. It's super easy, and once you do 1 or 2, you can go crazy. So I don't have my second page printed here, so let's go back to the instructions and look at this. We have 8 instructions for this Y. So let's do the Y. The illustration shows the paper is on the right-hand side, and we're pushing the D. It is not telling us to flip this time. It is telling us that the flat edge stays in the same direction, but the paper is now on the left, not the right. So we're going to do another D in the same direction. And now we have this. Now we have to look at the little picture, and it shows putting it in with the flat Ds on the left-hand side. So we're going to put that in. It is telling us to only cut that bottom section below the D on the left. So we're going to put the thing in here. It goes in the little tray because the blade goes in the slot and here. So we've cut here and here. So this little piece is done. Now it is telling us that we need to put this in here. We're going to close. It wants us to cut just the left-hand side of this section. So now we have that. Now here was where I found my first typo, and I haven't marked it in the book. It says to put this on the 1/2 inch line. What it is telling you is to put it on this 1/4 inch line. That is what it's telling you to do. Let me just do with my, oh, there we go. So it's wanting you to put it all the way over to the left, but it wants you to put on that little scored line right there. There's nothing to hold it there, so that's up to you to hold it there. So you just have to get it on the line. The next thing it is telling you to do, I'm going to set this down so I don't have to hold it. It is telling you to cut right here. So we're going to put this inside. And cut. It basically wanted you to cut a 1/4 inch instead of a 1/2 inch out of that little section. So now guys, if you look at this Y and you look at this Y, the only thing left to do is to round this, this, and this. And if I had my sheet with the Y on it, you would see the Y and you would see a green here, here, and here. Just like the instructions tell you, here, here, and here. So we're going to go and cut here and here. Now I know you're used to cutting the corners, you're not used to cutting inside pieces, but this needs to be rounded as well so that it has this pretty definition. So you basically just hold this up and put it in there. It does fit, it's made to fit, and now we have our Y. It is a super simple board. The question is, what all are you going to make with it? Are you going to make some shadow boxes? Are you going to make some banners, some gift cards? Are you going to use it to put names on gift packages or gift bags? Are you going to spell out happy in pretty decorative cardstock for this nice little box? Are you going to decorate for Halloween or for fall or for Easter or for Valentine's Day? Because this does so much. It's kind of unlimited as long as you are good with the limited size. Again, this is the mini, so it does the 2.5 by 1.5. If you want a larger one, there is a full-size one. Just look for them on sale. So let me know in the comments what you think of the sheet versus the instructions, and let me know what you would do with the mini alphabet punch board. We have a lot of We Are Memory Keepers tools on this channel. I love their tools. I show you their flaws and I show you their fun things, but they are a good board. They punch great. I have got boards for them dating back a long time. They still punch great. I miss the dark colors because the white on the dark looks wonderful, and they have started putting white on these light colors, and guys, it is awful to be able to see it. So let me know what you think of this video. Please comment below what you would make with your letters and how you feel about having the sheet for visual effect versus the step-by-step in the instruction book. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you go to my Facebook page. Make sure you subscribe because these 3 videos are coming out very soon. I'm going to show you step by step how to make them. We're going to do some fun things. And as always, happy crafting.